Hello everybody and welcome to Mark Goldbridge, That's Football. It's your Premier League preview and I just want to get straight into a topic. Who will be the next Premier League manager to be sacked? On average, we're getting somewhere between 3 and 10, I think, managers sacked per season. We've only had one so far. That was the Watford manager. There will be another manager. There will be another one after that. There may even be another one after that. But who will be the next Premier League manager to be sacked? It is the sack race. We're talking Poch. We're talking Marco Silva. We're talking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Will it be one of those who gets sacked next? And a very significant game with Liverpool hosting Spurs this weekend. I can only see one winner in that, and I'll say it's going to be Liverpool. I cannot see Spurs, the Jelly Babies, going up north with no spine and getting a Liverpool team that actually will be very annoyed with their performance against Manchester United for various reasons. They're going to bounce back, and I think they'll smash Spurs. And will that put more pressure onto Pochettino? Everton play Brighton, and obviously Solskjaer is going to go to Norwich. But first of all, look. It is the Premier League preview show. We like to bring these little clips in. And I really did enjoy this one week. Give this a listen.
Alan Shearer has nothing on Harry Kane. First things first, you're going to bring up trophies. Yeah, Kane's still got time for that.
Links in the video description for that. Get over to the video and have your say. I've certainly had my say. All I would say is, I know expressions, and when Alan Shearer was in his prime in '96, I don't think expressions was probably even walking, i.e. was probably a toddler. So how you can have an opinion on that, I don't know. But there's loads more opinions you can have on that. Links in the video description. Pop over there and see what I said, and make sure you give it a watch and have your say on that. Very interesting opinion from him there. Rants won't be happy. But let's crack on with the Premier League preview. And I think, look, the highlighted game. There is a Friday night game tonight. It's Everton. It's not Everton. It's Southampton versus Leicester. Again, what I would say is in relation to Leicester, very, very quickly. Well done, Leicester. You're getting mentioned at the start of shows now, which is great. You are third in the Premier League and you deserve to be where. If they win today, I think Leicester, again, like I said against Burnley last week, maybe a little bit lucky with VAR, but they did get the 3 points. If they go to Southampton and win, these are the sort of wins that will get you top football for football. You know, beating Spurs is great, being unlucky against United and Liverpool is great, but getting 3 points against the bottom half teams is where you will get into the top 4. So massive game for Leicester tonight. If Southampton were to win, they'd go above Manchester United onto 11 points. So interesting game from United's point of view. Leicester winning makes them further away from United. Southampton winning puts them above United. So ideally I'd want a draw, and I think it will be a draw. I'm going to go 1-1 in that one. And then we move into the Saturday games. But let's talk about Liverpool versus Spurs first. That is the big game of the weekend. I'd love to be doing a watch along on this channel for it, but unfortunately, as a Manchester United fan, and unfortunately is the word that gets used a lot with us at the moment, it kicks off at the same time. There are 4 4:30 kickoffs on Sunday, which is Arsenal Palace, Liverpool Spurs and United away to Norwich. I mean, I'd love to be doing Liverpool Spurs. It's a game I would like to be watching, but I will be doing Norwich versus United on the United stand, of course. But I don't see actually how, and I expect Arsenal to beat Palace, by the way, and we'll talk about Norwich United in a moment. But I do expect Liverpool to bounce back and win this. They've drawn 1 and won 8, and I think they'll have won 9 and drawn 1 come Sunday evening, and they'll be on 28 points. Spurs way back on 12 points. They need to get something. I mean, look. The reality is, Spurs are 7th at the moment, but the way results could go, they could plummet down to like 13th or lower if they lose against Liverpool, like I expect. So, and then suddenly Pochettino is in the sack race. It is very congested between, Palace have got 14 points, Arsenal 15, Chelsea 17. They move away up to City and Liverpool. But when you get to Spurs at 7th place on 12 points, you've then got United and Everton on 13th and 14th place. Sorry, 14th and 15th place with 10 points, and Brighton with 9 points. So, 3 points separate 7th and 16th. And I think Spurs will lose this. I can't see. I'd be very impressed if Spurs got something. I think it'd be good for the Premier League if Spurs got something. But I don't see Spurs getting anything out of that game. And I don't know what you lot think. I mean, I just don't give them a chance. I always say Arsenal at Anfield, you can bet your mortgage on it, they're not going to win. And they're probably going to lose. And I think Spurs, although they have been there and got results in the last few years, I think they're going to get absolutely swarmed. They're not playing well. They're not very coherent. And I just can't see Liverpool not winning that game. And I think they could win it maybe 3 or 4-1. So unfortunately, Spurs, I think you're about to get beat. And does that put Pochettino in the sack race? I think it should do, but it won't do, because Daniel Levy, as I've said before, is a businessman. And in the summer, if United had took Pochettino or Real Madrid had took Pochettino, he was so in a safe contract, they would have had to pay 30-40 million for Pochettino. A few months later, is Daniel Levy going to pay Pochettino to go by sacking him? It's a loss of, for a businessman, that's a massive loss from somebody that they expected to get millions for. So I just don't see it happening with Pochettino being sacked at all by Spurs, although maybe he should be in that race. But bringing it back to Saturday's games, Man City against Villa is the Saturday lunchtime kickoff. I mean, look, Villa's season really, I don't know where Villa are in the league. I'm doing them a little bit of a disservice. I know they're above United, but who isn't? They're on 11 points. So Villa at the moment, mid-table. Things can change around very, very quickly, but they're not going to change around for them against Manchester City on Saturday. I feel that it'll be a comfortable win for Man City against Aston Villa. It would be probably one of the results of the season if Villa were to go there and even get a point. So I think City to win that, maybe 3-4-1. Brighton against Everton at 3 o'clock is an interesting game from a United point of view, because one of them will definitely go above United. A draw will put, I think, Brighton above us. A win for Everton puts them above us, obviously Brighton as well. So, but Marco Silva is in that sack race, and I got to be honest, I think Brighton will get something out of this game, because I think Everton are so ridiculously inconsistent, beating West Ham last week very comfortably, cracking goals as well, especially Sigurdsson. But I can see them not getting something at Brighton, so I'm going to go with a draw in that 1-1. Watford versus Bournemouth. That's a very interesting game as well, because Watford are stranded at the moment with 4 points. They should have had another 2 points at Spurs. They were robbed there by VAR. Disgusting, really. They should be on 6 points. They're on 4, and they're a little bit of adrift. They're 4 points from safety at the moment, and that'll probably be even more if they don't get something at home to Bournemouth. Bournemouth themselves, mid-table again, 12 points. I think I'm going to go for Watford. I'm going to go for the home win in this. I think Watford well overdue a win, and I'm going to go Watford to win 2-0. West Ham against Sheffield United is a very, very difficult game to call. Let me just have a quick look at the table. They're both going to be around each other. Sheffield United on 12, West Ham on 12. I fancy West Ham to win that. I'm going to go West Ham to win 1-0. Sheffield United, very, very well organised. Brilliant win against Arsenal in the midweek, but I think West Ham will win that one, and they'll take the 3 points. Then Burnley-Chelsea. Interesting game for that. Chelsea, very, very tough game in midweek against Ajax. Came through in the end with a good win. They've got United midweek as well in the Carabao Cup. And I think that this is a good game for Burnley with a week off. They'll be well energised. It's just how much energy Chelsea have got, having been, it's very difficult, I think, for any team to be away in Europe and then away at the Premier League weekend when that team's had the whole week off. And Burnley have had the whole week off. And when you look at the Premier League table, Burnley, if they hadn't, they've got 12 points. So I can see this being an interesting game from the perspective that I think Burnley might just get something out of it. I'm tempted to do a watch along for this one, actually. Let me know in your comments, because I think it might be an interesting game. I'm going to go for a Burnley draw there, 1-1, which I'm sure will upset some people. And then that leaves us into Sunday, Newcastle against Wolves. If Newcastle were to win, they would go above Manchester United. If Wolves were to win, they would go up to we're choking 14 points. So I don't rate I'm going to go for a draw in that one and move on swiftly, which brings us to Arsenal versus Crystal Palace, and this is perfect for Arsenal. Thursday night game at the Emirates, a late winner with 2 goals for Pepe, and Crystal Palace at home on the Sunday. So they've got that home advantage. They had that Sheffield United loss last week, and Palace are actually only a point behind Arsenal, which is interesting. 15 points for Arsenal, 14 points for Palace. But I think this is the routine sort of result you see at Emirates. 2-3-0 to Arsenal maybe, but Pepe with 2 goals. Interesting. United fans have really enjoyed having a pop at Pepe, and Arsenal fans have been jumping on the bait for the last 2 months. What I've said about Pepe is I would love him to have come to United. We haven't even got a right winger. He's not going to flop. He's too good a player to flop. He will score goals. Will he be this sensational signing that Arsenal expected? I'm not so. I think he's probably going to be more Mahrez for City than Raheem Sterling for City. I think he'll be a good player, but I don't think he's going to be this, one of the best players in the league. And, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's hard to get those sort of players, especially for Arsenal and United, who are not really the top teams in the league anymore. But he was never going to flop. He's a good player, and I think he'll be a decent signing for Arsenal. I just don't think he's going to be that Alexis Sanchez, Van Persie, Aubameyang sort of signing. I don't think he's going to be one of the best in the league. I think he's just going to be a decent player for them. So yeah, I would say Arsenal will win that, which obviously we've spoken about Liverpool Spurs, which leaves us with Manchester United versus Norwich away from home. Very interesting game. What I would say from United's point of view is that we're currently 14th in the league. It's about how low we can go this weekend. If we win, there's an opportunity for us to go as high as sort of, and we won't be 7th because somebody on 12 points is win, but we could go up to like 10th if we were to win. I think I'm going to go with the United win, because the thing I'm holding on to here is Poch, I don't think he's that good. Norwich concede so many goals, and I think they'll play a bit open against us, and they've got defensive issues, Norwich. So, and the thing is, even if Norwich beat United on 7 points, they'd go up to 10 with United, but there can be no goal difference swing that puts Norwich ahead of United, because Norwich have got a minus 11 goal difference and United's goal difference is 1. So they'd have to beat us like 5-0 just to, and even then 5-0 would not be enough to get them above us. So it just shows you how many goals Norwich have conceded. They've conceded 21 goals this season and scored 10. So I don't see, yes, they beat Manchester City, but I think, you know, Norwich are a bit like the summer, aren't they? Which is probably why they wear yellow for the sun, because they were very hot at the start of the season and they've gone very cold at the moment. So I don't see Norwich beating Manchester United. So I think United will get a win. Dreadful again in Serbia, but I just think United will get something out of this game. Because Norwich are struggling at the moment and looking like a team that could go down. So we'll be interested to see what's going to happen with that, won't we? But look, get your comments in below. In relation to the sack race, I'd be wrong of me not to give you my thoughts on that. Well, as a Manchester United fan, I know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not going to get the sack. I mean, worst case scenario, United could be bottom 3 on Sunday night. I don't think that will happen. Like I say, I think we'll get a result. I think Pochettino's going to lose, and he could find himself in 13th, 14th position. And Marco Silva could lose at Brighton, and again, that puts him. So I would say at the moment, I still think Marco Silva is the most likely to get sacked next. I think that Poch and Ollie are going to be safe for various different reasons. So I would say Marco Silva is still the most likely manager to get sacked, because there's nobody else at the moment. I mean, I think Newcastle are happy with Bruce, Norwich are happy with their manager, and Watford's manager's only just come in. So there isn't really a manager that's looking under any threat apart from Marco Silva for me at the moment. But get your comments in below, of course, and make sure you give this a watch as well. The link's in the video description. Is Kane better than Shearer? Expression seems to think so. Get over onto that video and tell him why he is totally and utterly off his.
Alan Shearer
needs to take that hat off his head and let it breathe a bit.
First things first, you're going to bring up trouble.
Thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, check out the FIFA career mode, and there may well be a Chelsea Burnley watch along tomorrow. Let's see how we feel about that one. But thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you all soon.